welcome. I'm Amanda if we've never met before. Today we'll be doing about a 30-minute flow or mat work sort of series. A lot of focus on the hips and just some mat or seated postures. So nothing standing, nothing super rigorous from a posture perspective, but don't let that fool you. Hip work can be just as challenging in a very different light. Sometimes sitting with the emotions and those sort of things that are in our hips and that we sort of store within our body can be just as challenging from a mental perspective instead of physical. So if you would prefer to use any props, pillows, blankets, bolsters, anything like that for your practice, make sure you collect those. And we'll get started in a seat. So comfortable seat either on your block. I actually have my meditation cushion here that I like to use, but you can sit on a block, you can sit on an extra rolled up mat, a pillow, anything that speaks to you. And once you find your seat, just rock a little side to side. You can face the short edge of your mat. I'll face the camera here for a moment until we find our way to a table. But we'll just sit in our Sukhasana, easy seat pose, or if you prefer Virasana Heroes pose, you are welcome to find that as well. And if neither of those are super comfortable, if you have anything going on with the knees or the ankles, you can always extend the legs out or use any props or support that work for you. So make this practice your own. I'm just sort of the mouthpiece, so I just serve as the guide. Your job is to take the pieces that work for you and let go of the ones that don't. So once you have arrived on your mat, let the eyes close down. Pull the belly back, up and in. And then see if you can level the chin to earth, but lengthen the crown and close the eyes. And just sort of take note of how you feel through your body with your eyes closed in space. And you may notice that you wiggle, or you might feel some movement through your center or your body as it adjusts in space, leveraging sort of those core stabilizers to keep you upright and nice and long, supporting the spine and the back. And just start to tune into the breath. Let it come in a little slower and a little longer. A little fuller and a little deeper. And you can choose to practice Ujjayi breath today if that is for you, or sticking to whatever breath pattern suits you. If you're looking for Ujjayi breath, it sounds sort of like a hissing or a wave-like sound as the breath comes in the nose. It drags down over the whisper muscles in the back of the throat all the way to the base of the belly. Pause slightly as you are full, and then reverse that breath out, pulling the belly and the lungs, or the belly into the lungs, so compressing them from the bottom and letting that air slowly roll out until you're empty. Same hissing sound exits as the breath runs back up and over the whisper muscles. And then you can find and stay with stillness, or maybe you just start to let the head rock side to side. If it feels good to pause on one side, do it. If it doesn't and you just would prefer the movement, keep moving. If you'd prefer to take that movement into a full circle, you can do that as well, just making sure you hit both sides. So starting around one way and then also starting around the other. And then finding a tall spine again, lengthening through the top of the crown. We'll let the arms circle up on your next breath in. And then we'll just pull them down through our middle. Empty. Out wide, breathe in. So gather up, pull, and lift that energy to the top, and then pull it back down through your center. Sweep out, reach up, breathe in, maybe look up. Palms pressed together, come down through your third eye, through Anjali Mudra, prayer center, and then arms back out wide, reach up, in breath. Then draw it down. One more big circle sweep. This time as you come down through middle, let the hands plant in front of the knees. And find your way up to a table. You are on a seated object of some form. Slide it out to the side. And then we'll let the shoulders stack over the wrists, knees underneath the hips. Drop the belly open for your cow pose. And tuck and round for your cat. Open for your cow, heart forward. And round for your cat, empty. A couple more of those, breathe in to open. And breathe out to round. One more to open. And round. Come back to neutral, let that right arm thread high to the sky. And then draw that right arm under the left, threading your needle. Let the shoulder and the ear down. Let the left hand maybe walk forward or across your mat. You can also stay outside the shoulder and just provide a little assistance. So find what suits you today. Breathing in. And breathing out. Just a couple more on this side. Fill up. Empty. One more to stay. And let it drain. Walk that left hand back under. Right arm high to the sky. Reach, twist. And then hand down. Let that left arm circle up on your in-breath. And then thread your needle. Left shoulder and ear down. Right fingers forward or across your mat. Keeping that breath moving through the body nice and slowly. Finding that space where you feel the deepest stretch or the best rinse, whatever that is for you. So right on that edge, but not too far. Let the right hand come back down. Press yourself back up, arm open from the left. And then table again. Walk your hands forward, let your knees come out a little wider. And then send your hips back to a child's pose. See if you can keep the forearms a little lifted, so really claw the fingers away from you. Letting the hips melt down to earth. And then if you'd like to soften the forearms, feel free. You can let your third eye rock side to side. then maybe from here, wrap the arms around the legs, reaching for the heels. If you're doing that option, let one ear find earth, and I will let you know when to switch. So if you found that embryo variety where you're reaching for your heels, unwind the ear from earth and then flip sides. As you're ready, come back to center. Extend the arms long, but keep the child's pose. And then tiptoe the fingers to the left as far as you'd like. Draw the right elbow and shoulder down. Maybe look up to the left. And then see if you can also let that left soften. Maybe you come back down to forehead to earth. Or maybe you look left. Reach that right arm out a little farther, feeling a stretch through the right oblique and the right side body. And one more here to stay. Empty. Come back to center and off to the right. So fingers tiptoe, forehead melts. As you're ready, come back to center. And then we'll find our way back up to a table. And then we'll step the right knee behind the left, so cow face here. Refinding that seated cushion, whatever it was for you. And then sitting back to it. So a more gentle cow face than maybe if you were just ending a flow class where you have a lot of warmth in the hips. So just really letting the floor come up to the hips as opposed to trying to jam down into it. Hands can rest on the feet or the legs. Just pull the belly back and sit up nice and tall. Maybe let the right ear drop to the right shoulder. You can take this left hand and tuck it under that foot that's outside and use that foot to kind of press down into the hand for just a little extra length in the left neck crease. Head lifts as you're ready, ear drops to the left, and the same option with the foot on the right side. So it is actually your left foot and connection with the right hand. One more. Stay. Lift the crown up. And then see if you can tiptoe yourself a little forward just for a gentle fold. You don't have to go very far. Hips stay on earth, elbows soften, chest drapes towards the leg. One more. And let it go. As you're ready, walk the hands back, lift the chest. And then back to a table. Unwind that right. Be mindful of whatever you were sitting on. Cross the left behind. So just switch whatever leg was on top. And then come back to that seat. Adjust it if you need to. This time, maybe let the head drop back. And then let the chin tuck to the chest. I'm going to move through a couple of those if that feels good. And then as you fold chin to chest, this time maybe give yourself a slight adjustment. So a little pull from the back of the head. Everything else in the middle stays upright. Release that, come back up to center, and then tiptoe yourself again forward.
Softness through the shoulders, the head, the neck.
Come back up nice and tall. Back through your table. And then remove that cushion, cross the ankles, and come back to a seat. But this time we're finding our way to earth. If you like to use a strap for any type of twist, make sure you have it. And you might want that seat a little bit later, so make sure it's available. As you find your way onto earth, give yourself a squeeze. Rock a little side to side. So we'll start with the feet wide. And then we'll just let them knock in. So active rest, shoulders down, belly down. Spine to earth, arms wide or up and overhead. And then we'll start to let the knees swish side to side. So it'll be a little different than our traditional supine twist to start. We'll come to a traditional one in a bit. But the feet are wide here, so as the knees spill over, they're not quite on top of each other. You can walk the arms out to a T if you'd like, and then the next time the knees go to the right, let them stay there. So the right foot should be a little closer to the left knee or the left thigh. And then you'll look left. If you'd like more sensation outside of the right ankle to the top outside of the left thigh. And then breathe. Breathe in deeply. And drain out fully. Couple more, fill up, empty. Last one, and let it go. Release that right foot back wide and then come back to center with the gaze back to knees swishing. And the next time they go to the left, let them drop. So again, left foot, the arch of it is a little closer to the right knee or the right thigh. And then if you'd like that connection, ankle bone up on outer right thigh, you're looking right. And just be mindful as you're pulling down with that left leg, you're not adding tension to the right knee. So if you're feeling any pain in the knee joint, just let that foot stay on earth. Couple more, breathe in. Breathe out. Last one. We'll let it go. Release the foot, come back up to center. And then walk the knees to touch and the feet to touch, right over left. So think of eagle legs. But again, we'll let the knees twist to the right. So you're looking left with the thighs connected this time. We'll keep that connection and eventually move to the other side, but just for one more moment, use that top connection with the right thigh over the left to really stretch out the left obliques. Up through center, knees stay crossed as they are and they spill over to the left. Pull the right shoulder down to earth. Your arms can always be in goalposts or out wide. When you feel ready, come back up to center. And then unwind the feet to left over right. And then we'll go back to the left. So we're still starting with that same style cross, so left on top of right, looking right, peeling open. Come back up through center. And over to the right. One more. Empty. Come up to center, foot to your earth. And then let the feet come hip distance, arms by your sides. So we'll press down through the feet and inhale, wave the hips up to a bridge pose. But come right back down. You can add the arms if you like. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, wave down. So just rolling through the spine. Inhale, wave up. And exhale, wave it down. Continue for maybe a handful more of those as it feels good. If staying still feels better, do that. If you prefer a block or a prop under your hips instead of movement, take that option. And you don't have to move the arms either. You can just roll up through the hips and back down through the spine. Really make sure you're tucking the pelvis up at the end so the low back gets to hit earth before the tailbone. Continuing through your final connections of your bridge rolls. And then we'll spend a few moments in our bridge. So come back up to one final one. Press the palms down, lift up through center. And then we'll roll down super slow. So take a full breath in, really lift, and then exhale slowly. Let yourself roll to earth. Really drawing the front of the pelvis slightly up into the sky so the low belly engages. The whole low back hits earth slowly. And then soles of the feet together, knees open like a book. Supta Baddha Konasana. One hand, belly, one heart, or arms up and overhead in a form of surrender. Let yourself stay. If you prefer a block or prop to intensify this, that's an option. We'll actually be moving the legs here in a moment, so find a good space for a few more breaths of stillness. And then as you feel ready, let those legs lift up slightly and then let them press back down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We'll do a couple more of those at your own pace. So just rolling up and rolling down. Next time you find that Supta Baddha Konasana again, stay in it. Hold here. As you feel ready, plant the feet back on earth. And then walk them a little closer to the body. Right ankle over left knee, and we'll stay right here. You'll take your right hand and press it on the inner right thigh. Flex the foot. That's good. Stay. If you'd like to straighten the left leg and let that leg float closer to earth, that's an option. You might feel that intensifies it a little bit. Just a couple more where you are. If you have that bent knee, find your way to that long leg.
We're actually rolling onto our left hip, so you'll plant that foot on earth. Keep the knee high up to the sky. Bring this right arm around. And then let it help prop you up onto your left forearm. We'll lift this left leg up and then let it set down. So just a few lifts through this left leg. Working that inner thigh. Make sure you're not collapsing into the left side. Lifts and lowers at your own pace. And then last one, lower back down. Let that left arm slide back out. Come back to your supine twist, but keep the legs. You can let that left leg cross a little more deeply by grabbing, or the right leg cross a little more deeply by grabbing it with the left hand. And as you feel ready, come up to center. Keep the left leg long. Hug that right knee into the chest. So all 10 fingers interlace. You're scooping that interlace over the shin bone. Pull the left shoulder down. So we're not trying to hold with just the right leg. That compression actually is coming from an even pull, and you should feel that compression in the front of the hip flexor. So making sure you're holding that shin bone with both hands. Chin pulls down. Shoulders melt down. Press down through the left long leg. Don't forget to breathe. Let the eyes soften, so closing down that drishti, finding internal focus. And then loosen that grip, and then we'll switch. So give the left leg a tug, and then give the right. Left tugs in, and right. Switch, and switch. Just a couple more with a little movement. Last one, we'll end again with that right leg in. Give it one more final squeeze. And then half of a dead bug, let that foot stack up to the sky. If this left leg straight is not comfortable, you can bend the knee. So find a place that works. You can grab any part of this right leg, so it doesn't have to be the foot. And this left hand, if their left leg is long, just maybe serves as a reminder, sitting on top of the thigh. As you feel ready, let the left leg join the right for dead bug. If you like, happy baby Ananda Balasana, rocking side to side. And those rock and rolls can be as big or as small as you want. You can straddle the legs as you move. Come back to stillness. Give yourself a squeeze. And then we'll let the right leg come long. Give that left leg a tug. Really draw that knee into the chest, holding onto it with all 10 fingers, pulling the right shoulder blade down. And then again, we'll switch the legs. So just little tugs. Next time the left knee tucks in, you'll keep it. And you'll stack that foot back up to the sky, half of a dead bug. So a little different this time. We'll skip the full double leg dead bug for this round. We'll find it at the very end of the rest of this piece. So from here, you'll bend the right knee and then cross that ankle over. Press that left thigh away. And again, if that's enough, you'll stay. If you'd like the flat leg version, you'll take that option. Belly and heart for hands, left hand, left inner thigh. Whatever feels good. And then we'll slowly let that foot plant over to the right. We'll roll to the right. And then you'll use your left hand to press you up onto the right forearm. Make sure you have space under here. This left foot plants on earth, and then we'll pick the right leg up. So just a few lifts and lowers, feeling that through the side body, through the inner right thigh. This left hand can be on your hip, it can be on the mat in front of you for a little tent. And then as you feel ready, you'll put that foot back down. Find your way back onto your back. Keep the left leg across. Help it into a deeper supine twist if that feels good. And then back to center, and again this time maybe that dead bug with both legs. If you like and you have the feet, maybe point the feet into the hands, flex and pull them down. So just finding a little movement in the ankle. And then releasing the feet back to center. Give yourself a final hug here. And we'll find an inversion before we find our final rest. So if you like the support under the hips for your inversion, you'll slide it under. And we'll just stick with a restorative inversion today. If you need something different, always yours to take. You can let the eyes just close once you find that support. Arms come out where you'd like them to. And again, maybe you point and flex the toe. Maybe you roll one ankle and then the other. If you're rolling the ankle, make sure you go the other way. Taking note of how the body feels when you find ways to soften, when you find spaces to breathe into, when you find ways to restore. Always remembering to continue to check in with yourself, always. And do the practice that is needed for the body in that moment in time. Slowly start to let the knees bend and the feet drop. If you'd like, for your back bend, a supported fish, you'll find your way up to a seat. Just to set up, I like to use blocks, but you can use a bolster or anything else that suits you, or you can just find an active fish. But I like to use my one block horizontal and one vertical. So the one vertical sits sort of where the spine is and in the space of the back of the heart, so sort of mid-chest. And then the other one on a different side, or maybe the same side, cradles the head and neck. Your legs can be crossed, long, or anything that suits you. And if you find this one at the head is not needed, You can let the head just fall and drop. Find and tune into that breath. If you are comfortable where you are in your back bend, you can stay. If you're looking for Shavasana or a different type of final rest, you'll start to press yourself back up to that seat just to remove those blocks. And then as you feel ready, you'll find your way back onto earth, letting the legs come long and the arms flow away. If you feel you need to rinse out anything else, ankles, fingers, toes, shoulders, head, or neck, do so. And then once you feel ready, find heaviness. Let the earth, the connection points you have with your mat, with the ground, know that they are supporting you. Let them cradle you. Trust in your journey always. Trust that your body will take you where it needs to go within the limits that you need. So all you really have to do is listen.
and to return. Wiggling fingers and toes. Drawing the knees into the center of your chest and then finding your way onto your right side for just another moment here. As you feel ready, slowly press yourself to a seat on your mat. Letting your hands draw into the center of the chest, Anjali Mudra. I thank you for sharing your journey, your practice, your spirit, your light with me today. The light in my heart honors and greets the light in yours. As we let our thumbs rise up to our third eye, our eye of intuition, we take one final breath here together. And as we exhale, we bow. Namaste. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It looks like we have the green light if you didn't get that notice. Starting this coming Friday. So a lot of studios, including the ones I work for, you'll see are popping back up and opening. Some are keeping their classes outside. So just check in with schedules. I'll continue to post some different classes on here off and on. So stay tuned for that as well. So I believe I'll be running an abbreviated schedule even at the studios I work for through the summer, just as we work through sort of post-quarantine. So you'll still see me popping on here for some free content and probably at some point some purchasable content. So stay tuned, yogis. I look forward with connecting with you on this space. And also if you are one of my regular faces, I'll see you soon in person. Have a great day, everybody. Namaste.